Think I will do the good old iron run. Let's have a little bit of a challenge. Let's go and take my iron truck. Auto shift off, drift mode on. And this is the coal mine. Let's drive to the iron mine and see what sort of weight RNG we get. Oh, right. Got music. Okay, we want like 35 at least, 35 kilometers per hour for these hills. And then even more so when we are loaded, but let's see. So this load of iron, 17 units, can weigh anything between like 27 and 54,000 kilos. Interestingly, only deliveries to the storage. Does that mean that the steel mill is full? Very rare to not even see one for Dasa Harbor. Well, it doesn't matter. I was actually wanting to do this for money, but we can do that. Let's see how heavy do we get. Okay, we get in the middle of the pack, 33,000 kilos. We see that in the bottom left. So that could be over 54,000 kilos. This is very manageable. The iron is still very challenging to run down from here in Atlas. Kind of not really meant for these roads, this thing. But with that amount of weight, we can probably do it. Let's put Jake brake on. And then the most challenging part is this first hill, because here we can't grind it up with grip. Have to hit it right. So let's go 5 high to get some speed. And we aim at that rock and we turn to the right there. First go. Amazing. Okay, I've done that enough times now to actually have it nailed. Nice. Those who have been watching my runs, you know that that was an exception. Usually doesn't go that well. But on the other hand, 32,000 kilos is way easier than 50. But you aim on that rock there in the left, and then you turn to the right as soon as the back tires kind of exit the mud, and you swoop the ass of the truck to the left and get it on the part that actually has grip. Okay, here I messed up a bit, so I have a handbrake on and I apply some acceleration and then released handbrake. And for this hill here with coal, you can just run up this, but you will run out of steam on iron. So you just get as far as you can and apply handbrake, get to the low gear, apply like 20,000 RPM and release the handbrake and just grind it up. And all these remaining hills, it's just about patience. Patience because you have grip. That first muddy hill, in there you need to have speed. This one, just enough speed to get up. There's a shortcut there on the right, I don't like to take it because it's so easy to flip the car. It's easier to come from here and just do it with patience. Very careful in the corners. And that's just the name of the game here. With the 13 speeder, I like to keep it in 5 low or 4. And honestly, never go much above 25 or 30 in the corners, because this thing will flip. This one is very easy to run into that tree if I don't brake. I'm kind of talking this through to myself to remind how this goes, but then also this kind of turns into a handy clip of a guide later. And that's a prime example why you don't go over 25 and do those sudden turns. I was just about to say that I will grind this up with first gear, but my mind went into the gear change instead of steering, and then that happened. And let's keep it on the 4 here, and this next part, it has kind of a very tight corner here going on with the brakes. And then from here, the heavy load picks up a massive amount of speed if you're not careful. And that muddy part there makes this corner a little bit difficult. And then you can just overshoot this next part. But it actually does not matter, because here it's very easy to just power through straight and avoid that corner on the right altogether. This one also very easy to slip or flip, because that inner corner has a little bit of a angle to the left. For this next part on the muddy, heading almost flipped it on here. Just keeping it totally straight on these brownish muddy parts, and here very slightly turn, but not much acceleration so that it doesn't slip. And here's another part where you want to brake, because you will fly. On a heavier load, on this one, this truck actually stops. But on a 54,000, it's very easy to drive through that cliff. And it's a massive difference how differently the same car feels with different tuning, but also with if you run coal down, which weighs like 10,000 kilos, and then you run this 30 or 50 tons. A bit of shortcut there for that corner. This one is pretty easy to flip as well, because you want kind of speed, but you don't want to hit the tree. To make it easy. On this one, I like to kind of almost cut the corner to that rock, and then go on 5 low or 4, just straight, because the hill is not as steep here. There's a rock there. That hill there is a pretty steep. Usually need to go on the low or first gear to grind it up, because it's hard to turn to that corner fast enough without flipping the car. And this corner you usually accidentally pick up so much speed that you just flip the car. So I like to just slow it down and go to 4 and then just get up this hill. Again, another part where it's very easy to run into those trees, or flip the car to the side, so just taking it easy here. Looks like I have a typo in my cider command. Still serving some form of beer cider. I will fix that later. But yes, we now have a cider command to go with beer, soda, coffee, and tea. But on a day like this, like cold cider is actually not a bad idea. If I had a cold wheat beer, I would probably have it as well, because it is 28 degrees both out and in at the moment. Careful on that mud there. And I don't have any specific lights on this truck for the night like I have on my coal truck, so but we'll be able to see. When I was practicing this, as long as you kind of see the inner corner well enough, I found the night conditions to be almost better than the day, because you see the bumps on the road because of the shadows so clearly. So it kind of taught me where the really bumpy parts of this road are. Through this mud, just no turning when the car is on that mud, and it's all good. We call cider whether it has apples or not. Even if it's made out of pear, it's still cider. In Finland we don't know any different word. I guess officially cider is apple drink or apple based. Okay, again, straight through this mud. Really easy to hit that tree there on the left. And it's quite hard to come fast on this one, so I just drop down to first, or even if it stops completely, just grind it with low. Yeah, just in general for the off-roading, whether it's with this truck or anything else, going on drift mode, so you don't have the automatic traction control which slows you down, and always without auto shift, because you can keep the gear, or just use the burn button very liberally to hold the gear. In here, if possible, we would like to get up to 30, but the bumpy road actually stopped me there a bit, so we're gonna stop to handbrake, give it about 100 RPM, and let go of the thing, so we get a little bit of bump there, and then we just hold a steady acceleration and the grip grind stump. If I recall, I have the 4.76 of the FDR on the gears on this one, the 13 speed box. And this tune has worked really nicely for these runs. This corner here is one of the easiest ones to flip the car in. That's those bumps there in the inner corner. The car turns like 45 degrees to the left. Even there, we were a little bit leaning, but I go through that with like almost no speed, because I flip the car almost every time there. Or did before I started just slowing down. Couple of gears lower here, and then back to 5 low. But careful in the corners. I have the jake brake on at all times, it just helps control the speed. Because there's so much mass in it. This one, here you are kind of almost home free. You start to celebrate in your mind, and then you flip the car here. Happened to me many times. And then you get through that previous one, you come here, you are impatient. Because you just flip the car and you flip it again. Don't ask how I know. Well, if you do, I've done it. Okay, but that's the off-road part. So in this case, I have the delivery right there into the storage. But if you are delivering to the steel mill, you can just autopilot from here. I have a fuel truck here, but you don't need it. That was there because in my initial practice, I ran out of fuel. Yes, so we are delivering. So do these guys have... do the storages have contracts? They do. So we can take the 10. And for these ones, we kind of put it there on that stack. I think as long as you have the car on the green part, it doesn't matter which way you open the bed. But for role-playing purposes, I like to go and make it seem I dump into the pile there. So there's the contract money, 50,000. And then the delivery, 66. Pretty decent. Okay, but actually, now that since I explained through all that, let me show my tool. I did not want to, no, I wanted to teleport right here. So this is what I do after every run. I teleport somewhere with a garage and I just repair and then I refuel. But just quickly go through the tune here. I like to have the large radiator just so I don't cook the coolant. If you run into a tree, that might help with that. We have the long intake for more torque. We have the biggest engine, of course. We have the biggest turbo. We have the 13 speed. And as mentioned, I think I said 447, but I have the 4056. And this is, for me, perfect to grind up those hills when you come to a complete stop. In the back, in the rear tires, I have the 1.5. And with the recent changes, I changed the third axle to be lock differential. Not sure if that makes a big difference, but in my mind it does. Brakes, brake power maximum, brake pads. I have added the ones that can take more heat in the front, because those brakes can take a little bit more. Actually, no, the other way around. So we have PXs in the back, DXs in the front. Suspension, I have in the back 200, the second axle 150, and the front 120. I find those better than having 200 in the front to have a little bit of better control on the steering. Springs, I have 200 in the back, 150, 120. And then, so that's, I don't want those too stiff, so that they are still soft, so we are bouncy. That keeps the car kind of up, instead of kind of bouncing up and down on every little pump. But then we need almost maximum damping. So back where it's heavy we have 500, and in the front we have 300. Ride height, this is kind of not necessarily that big of a difference, but I just have it max. because Atlas is very low car to begin with. I like to run 100 on the wheel spacers whenever I'm running almost any truck, because it's just so easy to flip the cars. Angle kit I think is a little bit optional, but I found that the plus 10 makes it easier to turn those paths on that truck. So this is very specifically tuned for the Gwangjin Iron Mine run. So I haven't added, for example, trailer hitch in this one, because with iron it is very challenging to pull anything, unless you get good RNG with a low iron weight. Then you could maybe pull a coal with you. On utility, it's pretty optional, but I like to kind of just have one fuel tank, and then just in case I want to carry something, I have the utility box. So that's my tuning, but I think the most important thing is the suspension. So 150 is kind of a softening towards the front, and then maximum dampening in the back, and different anti-roll bar in the front. Yeah, if I was kind of winging it here, during the live stream, but if I turned that into a separate guide on YouTube, hopefully you found that useful. And good luck on the iron runs. It is, I think, the most challenging drive in the game if you do it on Atlas. You can get a lot of iron down from there, but it can feel near impossible to get through that first muddy hill. But from my experience, if you are persistent, it will take you a couple of attempts to get the feel for it, and then 5 or so more to actually get good at it. It is difficult. It is very difficult, but also very satisfying. This, good. As said, for anyone watching this small part, Iron Run from Gwangjin Mine guide on YouTube, thanks for watching. And you can check the video description on my channel for the playlist for other Motor Town stuff. And I think I will go do another run.